Record device. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Pink Lady Against Scammers. Second episode of the year finally. And with me as always is my best buddy Yvette. Hello Yvette.
Hello, Patsy. How are you today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Good.
Good,
Good.
good.
Well, we're both excited because we have a good friend from TikTok on. And if any of you follow me on TikTok, last year I started the guests on Wednesday night, and this gentleman was my very first guest. So please welcome Gypsy to the podcast because we just have so much probably to talk to him about. How you doing, Gypsy?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Okay. So you're in the Army. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll get into the questions.
Uh, I've been in the Army National Guard 16 years. I'm in the process of my retirement, my medical retirement finally. Um, I've done a tour in Iraq, Kuwait. I've done the border mission down in Hidalgo, Texas. The COVID missions, hurricane missions. So I've been around, and it's it's been fun, but at the same time, it's been very draining. Um, but I'm happy that I'm finally getting retired, and I can move on to bigger and better things with my life.
Cool, cool. Now, every so often, I get a friend requests from someone pretending to be you, and I see your videos too. You'll be like, I love the way you start "Hello, my beautiful people" on all your videos, and you'll be like, "This is not me. This is not me." When did all this start with people pretending to be you?
Um, Honestly, I noticed it in like 2015 on Facebook, and m- they were crazy enough to go request my mother. And my mom called me immediately. She's like, "Hey, do you have a new Facebook?" I was like, "No, ma'am." She's like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna screenshot it and send it to you, and let's see what goes on." So then she sent it to me, and of course, at that time, Facebook wasn't worried about who was making profiles of what. Well, the guy wrote her in her inbox and was like, "Hey, how did he start? Pretty lady, can a soldier get to know you?" And she was just like, "Wait, excuse me?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, I'm a soldier in the army." And la- my mom just said, "Stop it. This is my son's pictures you're using." And instantly he blocked her, and then he went on and added other people that were on my account and was writing to them. And you know obviously they all had my phone number, so they called me, "Hey, did you make a new account?" Nope, I sure didn't. So that was my first encounter with it. And then after that, um it got really bad when I got onto TikTok. And my name on TikTok has been the same since I've started my TikTok. I've never changed it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And since then, oh my word, it is crazy. Like, I've been staying off of TikTok just because um I thought maybe if I stayed off and just, answered questions to people, not actually put videos out, that it would kind of minimize it. It hasn't. It's just gotten worse. Yvette would be like, "Hey, another one. Hey, another one." And I'm just like, "Oh my God." And then if Yvette doesn't tell me, it's Amy. If it's not Amy, it's Rena. It's just like they do not stop.
Yeah.
The funny part is they coming to me, hey, do you have Telegram or you have Signal? Or let's don't talk about Signal. It's been very picky, the Signal thing. Uh, or is what is the one that you use, Pepsi, to talk
Um,
with your boyfriend?
Zanji and
Sandy,
Telegram.
Sandy. And I'm like, really? And you know me, I have the way to talk with these motherfuckers. So really, Gypsy, bro, and the person is like a bro, and I'm like, yeah, I'm your sister, because in reality, Gypsy and I become so close that we call each other brother and sister. That's my brother. That
Right.
that long it's been that we've been talking. And it's beyond friendship now, and we always talk. And if we don't talk, we drop it and say, "Hey, how you doing? Everything okay? How you doing? Or how's my mom? Things like that." And I tell him, "Listen, Momo, I'm the real person's sister, and what?" And they start talking to me in their language and calling me names and everything, and they block me. I mean, since it's been 4 years, I think that we start talking because somebody hit me for the first time, and I was like, I found Gypsy on Instagram, and I say, "Hey, Gypsy, how many accounts you have, blah, blah, blah." I mean, it's been this train wreck all the time. And it's very sad because they're using so many military profiles to scam innocent people, to the point that the other day I have this woman fall in love with Greg Gonzalez. He's a military retired, okay? And he's from Puerto Rico. That is, I mean, this is the thing. And she's like, she won Snapchat. She won if he have TikTok, if he have Instagram, Facebook, mother, whatever. And I said, damn, you're not talking with a real person. Same thing when they come to me about Gypsy. "Hey, do you have Gypsy information?" "Oh, what? No." I mean, even if I have it, I don't want to give it, you know?
Right.
And I mean, it's for this last lady, she spent $200,000 on this guy. And she found the real guy on Instagram, and she proclaimed that she's in love with him. I mean, to the point that sounds like a stalker, you know? And he blocked her immediately. And she's obsessed because she is infatuated with him, and she cannot think nothing but Greg. And I made a video about that. I mean, this is very serious. I mean, a lot of people make fun of people that fall in love with people on TikTok or any social media, even matchmaker site, and this is serious thing. The way they fall in love with the fiction or with the real person.
Yes.
Have you had any women that I guess sent money to the fake gypsy?
Yes.
Yes.
Uh, there was one lady that um got in touch with Yvette and was telling Yvette that she was sending money to me for my divorce. And I'm like, hold on. I'm not married. I've been divorced since 2005. I've dated women, but I've never gotten remarried. It's just sad that I always put it out there on all my social media platforms that I'm not in your inbox, for one. Two, I will never ask you for money. If you come into my inbox, I'm not going to ask you to go to another platform to talk to me because I have no problem speaking to you on whatever platform you write me. And then I tell people all the time before the first thing that if they asking you for money, it is not me because I have my own money. I have my own home. My kids live with me. I am not deployed. I am, as of May 6th, I will no longer be deployable. So I'm in the process of my retirement. In 180 days, which is 6 months, I should be fully retired. So it's it's pretty bad because I've had women that were talking to the fake accounts find my account and then come to me and be like, okay, well, someone told me that it was a fake account. Is this the real account? I'm like, yes, ma'am, it's the real account. She's like, can I video call you? I was like, no, ma'am. She's like, I want to verify that it's you. I said, ma'am, my account has been on TikTok since 2019. I don't have the verified check, but if you go and look, my account has been there. I I used to post every day, 2 and 3 times a day,
Hmm.
just to give people the heads up with information. Um, if I got information that Yvette didn't get, or at
Rena.
that or Arena didn't get, or if Amy didn't get, I would give it to them. And then when they got information that I didn't get, they'd give it to me, and we would all post it, cross post on all social media, uh, to try to keep people aware that the biggest thing is I'm not in your inbox asking you for money. I'm not asking you to go to a GoFundMe account. I'm not asking you to go to WhatsApp. I'm not asking you to go to Telegram. Uh, the latest one is
A GoFundMe with Rena.
yes, a GoFundMe. They're trying to say that my wife got hurt while she was overseas in the military, and she needs to come home. Uh, I haven't made a video about this, but it's frustrating because I don't want to go on there and sound like I'm a broken record, but I'm a pissed off broken record. So um I'm trying to figure how to word it differently so maybe people will understand, without me just going on, hey, it's not me. This person is not my wife. I've never been to the Philippines. I constantly tell these people that. And um, the latest one that I had, a lady told me I was in Africa.
Yemen?
No, yeah, Africa.
Africa.
Um, she kept specifying that I was on a peacekeeping mission. I said, ma'am,
My favorite.
yes. I said, ma'am, the United States does not do peacekeeping missions, the military. And when I explained to her, the only people that are sanctioned to do peacekeeping missions are the churches. They go in quietly, they do what they need to do, and they leave quietly without people knowing. And she just kept telling me, no, you keep verifying, that you need my address for this. I said, ma'am, I don't know you. I don't need your address. I said, on all my social media platforms, I forewarn people not to send money to anyone you do not know. And it has reached a few people, but it hasn't reached enough people. And when I tell people that, um, yes, I deal with my own issues, but I'm not out there asking everyone for money, because
Hmm.
that's everyone works hard for their money, no matter what you do.
Mhm.
If you're a maid or you a self-proclaimed millionaire, you worked hard for your money. I'm not out there asking you for your money. And some of these people just don't understand that, um, they don't understand how to look at these profiles and verify if it's a new account and all their videos of uploaded the same day within minutes apart, it's a fake account. And I tell them that Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Clapper, Lemonade, this new one called Flip. I'm like, pay attention to the whole account, not just the picture that's up at the top. And people have gotten mad at me and was like, oh, you're just big headed and blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to be real with you to let you know what's going on.
They get
And
mad at me when I tell them that, listen, my brother is not the person, number one. Even if he need money, he's not going to ask for money. Okay, that's
yep,
number one. Number two, his pride and it's beyond social media. And number three, he's a military that working hard every single day, and he's not going to sit in front of a computer, laptop, or tablet begging for money. And they get mad at me when I tell them that it's not him.
right.
Yeah. Um, Gotta ask because this all went on for a while last year, I think when we were all on a live together. Gypsy and Rena are not married.
No.
Tell us that whole story because it is insane.
Okay, so this was a while back. I
Hmm.
was on a live and Yvette was there with me, Amy was there with me, and Yvette was like, "Look, I need someone to meet you because she's got information and she's wanting to learn and the whole 9 yards." So Yvette brought her up and we started talking and she was just like, "Oh my God, I'm really on, the TikTok with him." And I'm like, "With who?" Like I forget that people see that, yeah, I have almost 80,000 followers and then like, "Oh my God, he's famous." I don't see that. I see each individual person. There's things that I don't reply to in my inbox, but if it's questions about scammers, I promise you I will answer everyone.
Hmm.
I get around to it. Um, but after that, it came uh probably about 2 months later that me and Rena were talking on Facebook Messenger because it's easier for her to talk on Facebook Messenger. So we were talking back and forth, and she was asking me about an account, and I was like, "Psh, that's a known scammer." Like, she asked Yvette because I didn't get back to her fast enough, and Yvette was just like, "Prime example. This is the scammer, textbook. Hello, beautiful. How are you doing, my dear, my love?" Just confessing everything, that he was in love with her. And then when we started talking, I was explaining on how um they try to win your heartstrings. And when I was explaining to her, she was still talking to this dude like through the TikTok. And then he asked her, I think, for her WhatsApp number. She made a WhatsApp just to be able to talk to these scammers. Well, in the midst of it, she got this guy to call her and she hurried and took a screenshot of his face and she posted it. And then from there, because I was the one that showed her how to do it, since then it's been me and her married. We're in a long distance relationship. I'm military, she's a military nurse. She's overseas. It's just been, I can't tell
Chaos
you.
after chaos.
Yes, I I am very grateful that her husband is not a jealous man because
Hmm.
the accounts that have written him were like, "Oh, your wife's in a relationship with an American man. How do you feel about that?" And he's just like, "LOL, block." And I'm just like,
Very good man. Very
"Yes,
good man.
very good man." And while um Rena was overseas and working and doing everything she needed to do to hurry up and get back home to her family, her mother and father made a TikTok, and it got to the point to where these scammers were going into her mom and dad's inbox and writing them and telling them that me and Rena had a thing, that it was long distance and blah blah blah. And then that's how I wound up meeting her mom and dad. Um,
And
Loved
you've
them to
become
death.
friends. Yeah, you've become friends with them.
Yes, I talk to them
Family.
a lot, and uh, daily I talk to her husband. I talk to her husband probably a little bit more than I talk to her. But because I know she's where she's at right now. She's doing two roles and she doesn't
Mhm.
have much time to talk. So, when her husband's just like, "Hey, bro, how you doing? How's your day?" They he informs me of, the crops, the new animals that they've bought to, keep their farm going. And, I love them dearly. As soon as I'm fully retired from the army and I'm able to travel, I'm going there. That's my first
Cool.
place out of the United States.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I remember last year, when that those scammers were coming after all of us and making those videos, and the one was it included you and Raina. I was the producer. It was like porn movies or something. I was the producer. I don't remember who you were, Vet.
I was. I
I mean,
don't
we all had a
remember.
role.
Yeah. Yeah. We all had a role.
Yes.
Even Jersey Jones,
And Chad.
Chad Hoover, you and Rena, Patsy and
I
I.
think
I
you guys
mean,
might have been the stars. I don't know.
yeah,
It was so
something
long
like
ago.
that. I mean, it's not stop. And the funny part is when I was doing live on my own with other people, the name never mentioned here.
I don't know
Anyway,
who you're talking about.
anyway, I bring Gypsy, and constantly I was bringing Gypsy because why not? He's a military. He knows the rules in the military. And constantly I was asking questions. Do you have to purchase, have a gift card to purchase internet? Do you have to fill a form for you come and visit and how much it's going to be? Do you have to fill up concern with your commander? And all these fake forms and everything. I used to send it to Gypsy and talk to him. And he's like in the live, you don't pay for retirement. You don't pay for visit. You don't pay for internet. You don't pay for food. You don't pay for meds, you know. And still, even that we bring that information live or we do a video so they can listen, they are taking advantage of you still. On the same video that we do, and tell me if I'm wrong, Jeff, uh, we give the information in that video and they ask the same question that we answer on the video,
Yep.
Hmm.
you know, and I don't
Well,
know how to get to them
yeah.
anymore.
Well, a few weeks ago, Sandy, who is like my right arm, people will send her messages and then she'll text me since I still work 40 hours a week. And, but somebody had said, hey, can you go over the red flags? Start doing that again on your live. So I made new PowerPoint slides because I took it from advocating for you, but they were just hard to read and stuff. So every night, throughout my live, I have 4 8 by 11, 8.5 by 11 sheets. And, like if I'm waiting for a scammer to answer the phone, I'll hold up the card and so it's repetition. And I know I probably sound like a broken record, but I mean, I remember in school, repetition to learn stuff was the best way. And I
Yep.
think for some people, even though I get new people popping in and there, because Sandy's like, just do it every night because, you got new people popping in, and this was funny. Was it last night or the night before? I was talking to a scammer and sending a fake gift card. And this girl in the chat, are you really sending
Patsy, you froze completely.
reconnect?
Okay.
Ah.
I can hear her. There we go.
Okay.
No,
All right.
no.
All right. So anyway, so I was like sending a fake gift card, and this girl in the chat, newbie, are you really sending him a gift card? And Sandy's like, no. So Sandy will do a lot of announcements for me. She'll be like, we do not send real gift cards. We do not, when people send us bank account numbers, I report them to the bank. I also try to reach out. Last night's live, I was able to get a hold of another lady but she was aware of it, and they're watching her account, and she was just like, oh, I'm so glad you called me. And I will put the audio out. I had the audio out for the lady I talked to 2 weeks ago, because she didn't know what was going on. And so she went to the bank the next day, closed her account, opened a new one, went to Social Security. And so, but she didn't really want it out there because of her kids being on social media. And I'm like, hey, we're all about your privacy. We understand, not a problem. But I'll talk about it. But we changed the lady's name to Margaret, so that, but uh, we made a new friend with her. I text her on occasion. I'm going to send her a shirt. And, I mean, it was just so cool to be able to do all this live. And like last night, it happened again. I get goosebumps talking about it. It happened last night. So, but I mean, I have my cards. I hold them up. I read them every night now. And it's like I said, it's repetition. And some people, but then again, sometimes they just won't listen. You know, I always say it's kind of like an alcoholic. They got to hit rock bottom before they will realize what's going on, and possibly accept it.
Oh
So,
yes.
Gypsy, just to do a refresh thing here, because repeating, like we've been saying, is crucial for these victims to understand they are talking with a fake person. What is the major red flag that you have when they reach you and say, "Hey, I was talking to you. Uh, why you block me or ghost me, things like that." What is the major red flag that you give it to these victims?
So what I tell people is, if that person is in your inbox and they're asking you to go to another platform to talk, it's because the other platforms aren't regulated as much as big platforms are. And I always tell people, these IDs, notice I didn't show everything. These IDs, they fake them a lot. There's a lot of things, little keys that you look for. And they'll send me these bad Photoshop fakes. And I'm just like, no, that is not a real ID. Then they tell me, oh well, it says active, Marine branch. And I'm like, look at the whole ID. You can see that it's overlaid, it's been photoshopped. The pictures, I'll show you my picture because mine's about to change. But if you look, my picture is just me. I'm not in uniform. Not everybody takes a picture, an ID picture in uniform. And they do not put the American flag behind our picture.
Good tip.
I cannot stress enough to these people that what they're doing is they're laying a picture of the American flag in the background. Now, you see how small that picture is. There's no way they can get a full-size American flag back there. So all they've done is chopped it to where they can lay it on that background, and then they put their picture over the top of it and be like, "Oh yeah, I just re-enlisted." No, not how it works. And then, so I'll read it off of my ID where it tells you what agency and department they are. It's one word. If they're Army, it's Army. If they're Navy, it's Navy. If they're Marines, it's Marines. If they're Coast Guard, it'll say Coast Guard. It won't say all these names. It's one word. And when I tell people that, they're like, "Oh well, how accurate is this, and how certain are you?" I said, I've got
Ah,
16 years of being in the military, of having a CAC card. That's what it's called, CAC card.
Mhm.
It's with our credentials on it. Anywhere I go, because I have a security clearance, if I do not have this card, I cannot get in on the base or into the meeting that I need to be into without this card. And when I tell people, if they're just sending it first thing to prove that they're real, that's the biggest red flag. The second thing is they always want you to go to a different platform. If they can't talk to you on the platform that they're on, they're 100% scammer. There's no such thing as a military device that they can talk on. And I tell people this, that is another big red flag. We all have cell phones. Mind you, there's some rooms that you go into, if your clearance is high enough, you cannot bring a cell phone. You bring nothing. They strip you down. You go in, you remember what you need to remember from that meeting, and you walk out. The people that need to know what goes on in that room are in that room, no one else. So when they're telling them, oh well, I'm on my military device, that's the only way I can talk to you, it's a scam. They they're using a laptop or a desktop and telling these people that it's a military device. That's three big red flags right off top. Um, and them love bombing. I, I can't express it enough. That's number four. Uh, I I tried to in the beginning. I tried to tell people if they're coming into your inbox right away and calling you all these terms of endearment, it's a scammer. Now I tell people if you pay attention to the profile, I don't care what platform of social media you are on, if they've listed a bunch of videos within seconds of one another, it's a fake profile. And that's the first five red flags that I tell everyone.
What about internet? Do you have to pay internet when you are deported, or you're doing 3 years in Okinawa, whatever they send you?
So the internet, while we are on base, there are internet cafes that we can go to that are free. Now, mind you, if that individual decides, so if I'm in Kuwait and I don't want to walk because it's hot, I can purchase individual internet. And it's not as much as they're telling these people. It's, I think the Wi-Fi that you can plug into with the little device is like $100 a month. But that's nothing to them overseas because your first month you have to buy the little device that plugs into your laptop and you get your Wi-Fi. You don't pay for it, you don't get it. You can buy Wi-Fi by the day over there now. When I was there, you had to pay for a full month, even if you only needed it for a day. Uh, but they always tell us to go to the internet cafes so we're not stuck in our room, and they trying to battle the people that are depressed by getting them out of their rooms, going to the internet cafes, going talk to their family, their friends, and they encourage us to do that so we don't wind up depressed. And that's why I don't understand why these people are just like, um, I can't go anywhere, I can't do this, it costs money to do this, it costs money to do that. No, you can go to the internet cafes there or strictly set up for soldiers to go there, and if they want a coffee, if they want a croissant or whatever it is, they can get that while they're there.
For free.
Yes.
Okay, how many showers you guys get during the day?
We get midnight chow, 5 to 7 a.m. chow. We get lunch that is from 10:30 to 1 p.m., which is 1300. And then we get evening chow, which is from 1700 to 1900. 4 times a day you can eat for free. Now, if you want to go like the internet cafes, they sell stuff, but bottles of water, you get those free everywhere. Now, they're not ice cold, they're hot because you can just walk up to a point, grab it, and keep walking. You don't have to pay for water. The soldiers that decided they want the sweet snacks like from home, yeah, you got to go to the local commissary and buy that. But other than that, they don't have to pay for nothing. Nothing.
Okay, this is the big one because I know that people get hit with this. Your checking account and your ATM card, it got closed, frozen, and they cannot get money. How true
Not
is
true.
that?
Not true. The government cannot close my bank account, my credit card, or even a savings account because there are some soldiers. So I don't know if you remember, I was telling you that when I was over, we had an external card that we go to the ATM that was inside of
Base.
the store where we were at on the base. You put your debit card in, you enter your PIN number, you specify how much money you want to change from your account to what was called an Eagle Cash card. You pull your card out when it tells you to, you put your Eagle Cash card in, and it's a secure transfer from that card to that card, and it'll give you a receipt every time of how you done it. Now, outside of the base, they always told us never use a debit card. If you have to, bring cash. And their cash is different than our cash. They prefer our cash. Um, but that secure card, that Eagle Cash card, was accepted everywhere on base. So you didn't have to use your personal debit card or credit card. And we had tokens, literally paper tokens that we use for cash inside the base. You can get them for 5 cents, 10, 15, 25, 50, and $1. They were little bitty paper coins. And if you didn't want to use your debit card or the Eagle Cash card, you had a roll of whatever it was, and that's how you paid for it outside of the Eagle Cash or your debit card. So with with that being said, when they tell you your accounts are blocked or frozen or they can't get their paycheck, that's another red flag. And that one has been going on.
For
Shit.
years. For
I
years.
know, yeah, since at least 10 years that I know of. So
Okay.
I've
Another
learned
one.
so much. Keep going.
Another one that I know they ask all the time. Um, honey, I need your address, fill this form because I need to make sure that you are registered. So any communication and check goes to you because you might trust, I don't trust nobody, so I need your information. Can you give me your address, phone number, social security, so I can put you in the list and register your number, your phone number.
that's a scam. That, that is so that has become the second biggest scam because what they're doing is okay, so they tell you they need all that because they want to make you a beneficiary to their insurance. Now, I can't tell you how many people have come to me and asked me, why do these people need all this information to make me their beneficiary? I said, well, to be honest with you, they're trying to figure out how gullible you are. And if you're gullible enough to give them all that information, they know that they've got you. So what they've been doing is they've been telling these people, okay, I need all this information. I'm going to send you cash, gold, weapons, anything that I can seize from a raid over here, we're going to send it to you. And I try to explain to these people that you cannot just ship money. You cannot ship gold. You cannot ship weapons that way. Now, I'm not going to say that they didn't do that back in 03, 04 before the regulation got in.
Mm-hmm.
But for the past 18 years that I know of, you ain't doing that because it would automatically get flagged. Because if the package leaving from overseas doesn't get scanned, whoever didn't scan it loses their job. And
Mm-hmm.
it's sad because these people have tried to dismember guns to ship them home in multiple packages, thinking that they were going to get it home. And they didn't get it home because as soon as it made it to the facility overseas that scanned everything, if it had a gun part in it, it was seized. No matter how much you paid for it to go home, you lost it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Same thing with gold. Same thing with their currency, their dollars, their dinar and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't ship it home. People were like, "Okay, can I take this home with me?" Like some people wanted the Iraqi money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if it was less than $100, they really didn't care because you can't spend it in the United States. You just kept it as a souvenir. Um, Now I don't think you can take any of their money back from there. You gotta convert it back over to US dollars. Uh, but yeah, that's another big one that they're always telling you, I need this information from you. You cannot buy a soldier's leave. You cannot buy a soldier's retirement. You cannot buy a commander to email them, hey, my fiance needs all my information so you can send him home. No, you cannot.
So, are you able to talk me as a civilian and suppose the commander contact me on WhatsApp or Gmail,
Hell no.
uh,
No.
I've
right?
had that with a guy or two. Well, I'm going to have you talk to my commander, please.
Yes. So
Another one that you're gonna laugh, but we talked about this before. Is a when a commander or your email finish with Gmail, Yahoo, Outlook, AOL. No, right? Military email always ends with .mil or .gov. Correct?
.mail. That is official government. So the military email ends with that. If they're a government employee, it'll end in .gov. So when they give you it's all these letters and numbers and it ends in Gmail, it's not an official email. If it ends in AOL, it's not an official email. Yahoo's not an official email. Um, Outlook is not an official email. You'll know because when you get the email from a true military email, it will automatically scan your um, server to make sure that there's no spyware, and then it'll let you open it. If you have spyware on your laptop or your phone or your desktop, it won't let you open that email. So when these people are like, "Oh yeah, that's my military email," no, not a shot in hell.
Yeah, because we talk about email extensions on my lives. Because I used to work I'm a secretary, but I used to work in the IT department where I am now, but I'm in a different department now. But I mean, I always tell them, look at the extension. So if Best Buy is sending you an email, it's not going to be Best Buy at Gmail. It's going to be bestbuy.com. You got to look at all that stuff
Yes.
closely. And I mean, I'm more familiar with it because that's, being in IT for 12 years. Yeah. Um, but I mean, I always tell everybody, just look at those, because I get a lot of spam. My junk folder fills up every day on my home email. And I'm going through there because sometimes something accidentally will go through there. But it's
Mm-hmm.
amazing, some of the stuff, Walmart or Amazon, and then I look at the extension. It's not them. It's all these letters. Ugh, it's crazy.
It is crazy. And another thing, and this you guys gonna laugh, and I spoke with both of you about it. This woman was desperate to send money to this military because he is in Yemen, and he had to take his two kids to the base when he's deployed to the
Yeah.
base, you know, and she won the giving money so he can send the kids to what is the word? It's a school. It's oh my
Boarding
god,
school.
boarding. Thank you, boarding school. And she wants to have the kids move out of the base in Yemen to a boarding school, and he asked for 50 grand. You know,
Wow.
yeah,
Bank
and
account numbers.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I was like, girl, did you listen what you're writing? Did you reread what you are asking me? Because at this point, is you typing and you saying things without thinking twice, you know? And that is what they get you because you don't think. You are thinking with your heart, you know? Thinking that he promised you the moon and the star and Saturn, when in reality he gonna give you two shit about it.
Uh-huh.
You know, uh, I was listening to you, Patsy, last night. Some a song called you because the mother is totally up to the point she lost all her money, and it was you or somebody else. I think it was you, and she gonna sell the house to give you the money because he says sell your house. That is the only thing that she has that she don't know. Sell the house because when I come back, we're gonna buy a bigger house for the both of us.
Good.
Uh, at that point, I was like, my heart was thinking, how can you go to that level of don't think what this person is doing to you? And her son reached, I think was you, right, Patsy?
I wasn't last night.
No, it was a couple nights ago.
Okay, probably, yeah. I'm
Oh,
guessing.
you
I
put
think.
it in the chat that we have. It's
Yeah.
something like that. I was, I know I read it or look or hear somebody.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart, to the point that these victims, men and women, because it's not discrimination, men and women don't go a little step ahead to realize they are taking advantage of you, you know? And the only thing that they care is about the almighty dollar, you know? The more I get from you, the more I'm gonna drain you because you don't have nothing. I had 3 years ago a lady, she have a ranch, horses, beautiful ranch, house and everything. She sold all the horses, the ranch, spent all the money, $1.8 million total. And she was living in a car until her son find out and he took her with him. But he was so mad at her, so mad at her. And she still was believing that this guy is gonna come back. He was in an oil rig, you know, and she still was believing that he's gonna come and get her and start the life and everything. Well, $1.8 million don't you don't wanna see it anymore. That's number one. And number two, the knight in shine with a white horse don't gonna come and rescue. And I'm trying to tell him this to the victim. I mean, it's the little details, the grammar, the way they talk to you. I mean, it's like a, for example, Gypsy, we don't know each other and come to my DM and say, "Hey, beautiful, I saw your picture." This and that. Well, this is not Gypsy because Gypsy is not like that, you know. But I'm saying that this scammer has the way to get in your heart because you don't hear this love bombing every single day, or you in a relationship that your man, the man that you spend every night in your house, is not romantic and don't do this little detail. Keep in mind, I know my brother, Gypsy, and I know he is totally a romance fanatic. I mean, he has details that you never know. I'm putting you in the spot, but that's it.
Yeah.
We're now a
You know that
dating
I love
show.
you. He's a good catch, but right now he is focusing in his retirement and get all this done to move on. After he do all this kind of stuff that he needs to do, then he's available, people. You
The
know,
Patsy
so
and Yvette dating show.
you know, so just
Yeah.
saying. So don't
Yeah,
bug him. No, I'm just
yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
You know, it's a lot of things that people don't. I don't know what. Let me ask you this, Gypsy. Do you think, and especially the Philippines, okay? Do you think that this woman trying to get a military to get out from the country, or what is this obsession that Filipinos have with military, American military?
So I have friends that are in the Philippines, and obviously Rena has given me a lot of insight on it because they have an American military base in the Philippines. They see these Americans. They they don't classify the Americans as white, black, yellow, purple. They just classify them as American military.
American. Hmm.
So she's explained that when they see these people, they look professional, they have money, and most of them portray themselves as single. And these women are like, okay, well, if he's single, I have a shot. If I can just talk to him, there's a possibility he can take me back to the United States. But what they don't understand is a lot of these young kids that they see aren't worried about marrying these women. They're just there for the fun that they can have and go to their next duty station and start it all over. Uh, Now, unfortunately, I have seen some of these older gentlemen that are older than me marry these young girls in the Philippines, try to bring them back to the United States to be a wife,
It's
and
a name for that. The passport bro.
yeah, yeah. Uh I wasn't gonna say that, but yeah.
Oh,
Uh
you know me, I will say I don't give a
Hey, you can say
yeah.
anything you want on this, you know, there's no filters.
they they just go there, for the boom boom, and then they leave. And when they get the ones that do marry the girls there and bring them here, it's basically like the poor girl's a sex slave. Like, if she can't please him, she'll please his buddy or whatever the case may be. And it's sad because these girls think that all Americans are like that. And they're just used. And it's heartbreaking because not every American is like that. And when they see the Americans online, they automatically go into their inboxes and they're like, okay, well, the last American that was here just wanted boom boom and paid me outrageous money. And they think every American is just going to do that. And I'm like, no, doesn't happen
Mm-mm.
that way. Um, there's websites for that type of stuff if you want it. And that's what I explained to them. And they're like, well, but this is a live person. I'm a live person giving them what they want. I said, doesn't matter. If you're not that person's type, it doesn't mean anything to them. So um that is one of the reasons why they decide that they want American military. Um the other reason is they want their child to be,
American.
yes, American. If it doesn't matter if the the guy's white, mixed white, black, mixed black, uh,
Latino.
Spanish, they don't care. They just want American kids, so they're they can be brought here and so-called have a better life. But what they don't understand is the minute that this young boy that they may have married gets tired of being with them, he's just gonna toss them away. And that's what's happened to a lot of these women from the Philippines. Now, there's a few of them from Kenya. There's a few of them from Nigeria. There's um, a few from Thailand that have gotten American men. The American men brought them here, and just discarded them like they were trash. And now they're stuck in a country with a child. They have no family, and they can't go back home because they're in the process of getting their green card. And it's just like, why? Why do that to yourself? You know, if they really wanted you, they would have made the long distance work until you were able to come here with a naturalized citizenship. And a lot of them just don't understand that. They're like,
Mhm.
oh, that takes too long. We can get married in my country, and when we get to your country, they'll just accept it. And they don't realize it don't work that way.
Mhm.
So
No.
Man, wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of story behind how easy they can get these people because they are in a third world country and they want to get out of there. So the only one way ticket is be with a military, you know, and sure they know that don't work that way, you know, and they give it all this money and money. And I'm getting lately a lot of Filipino, Thailand,
Korean,
Germany. What is the other? It's another country. They are. getting scammed big time. Not only United States, but this third world country are getting scammed big time because they want the dream to come to United States and be free, and have a better life. And the little they know, you're giving them money to a scammer, taking advantage of you. So all those savings, all those hard work money that they did to be able to get the dream to come to United States, the land of the freedom, not so much freedom lately, but the land of the freedom, um, it's gone.
Yes.
It's gone because once upon a time, you don't follow your brain, you follow your heart. And that is when people get very vulnerable and they lose everything. And I know few people with sextortion and they they show pictures of their goodies, you know, and the extortion start and people unalive themselves, you
Yes.
know, because they think they are in a within, and they don't see any solution to get out of that, you know. I had tons of people constantly, they continue harassing me. Block them. As soon they contact you with a different email or WhatsApp or another account, block them.
The block
Block
button
them.
is your best friend.
Block the mother,
Yeah.
you know, because I understand that they want you because you was an easy target to get the money. But when you find out that he was a scammer, just keep
Yep.
blocking, or just change your profile, create a new one. That I'm gonna, I mean, all the videos that you did, save it and then cancel that account and create another one. You know, it's that easy. But people thinking, and this is one thing, and tell me if I'm wrong, both of you. A lot of people are in the desperation on TikTok to find love. Well, first of all, TikTok is not a dating site. That's number one. Number two, they put on the picture, single, 3 kids, I live in so I'm looking for a real man. Well, you know what? You're in the wrong place, fucker. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, I've talked about that all the time on my lives about um I'm 62, and in the 80s I was somewhat, "Oh my god, I gotta get married. I gotta," that whole mindset. Now I've never, I that's how I ended up with my idiot ex-husband, but I got my daughter out of it, and so that's the best thing. I try to, but it's like I understand where they're coming from. I don't want a man. I'm too busy. That's too much work. I'm very content with my life right now, so it's like I don't want to, but I mean, so understand where they're coming from. I really do. I understand. God, I just, but I try to, hey, and this is easy for me to say because I'm older, but it's like you don't have to have a man. Although a lot of the women are my age and older that are falling for it, as you know, and I just said this to somebody else the other day. You have what Yvette says this, you got to love yourself before you can love somebody else. And that is, I'm gonna put that on a shirt. Because it's true. It's very true. I've trying to think who I told that to. But maybe it was my daughter and her friend. I can't remember. But I mean, it's so true. You have to love yourself. I make a joke, oh, I love myself so much, but it's and I'm all about, don't feel bad about yourself. I want to uplift you. I want to make you, that's why I do things the way I do, so that you can laugh, but you can also learn, you know. And I hate to see men or women being taken down to such a level where they feel inadequate or not right if they don't have a partner, you know.
But look at it this way, Patsy. Look at that face. Who don't fall in love with that face? And the smile that he always
He could
has.
be my new cougar crush.
You know what I'm
And I'm
saying?
sorry, it'd always be Chris Evans, but
But I know how Gypsy is because outside of any social media, we can talk for a long time, things that matter. And I know Gypsy. Gypsy is the kind of man that he takes his shirt out of his back for somebody else. I know that. You know, that is the Gypsy that I know. Dwayne. You know, uh, but at the same time, is he protects the people that he loves daily, true and true. You know, and when my mom was in the hospital, he was sending me messages constantly. How's mom? How's mom? I mean, this is the kind of man that he is.
Mhm.
So when people listen his life, I remember one time I was in his life. All these people, oh, I love you. You blocked me. This and that. And I'm like, listen, bitch, he don't talk to you ever. You're talking with a scammer. But it got to the point that I was getting irritated. And people is like, oh, you have a relationship? That's my brother,
Yes.
you know? Oh, well, you protect him because he's my brother, you know? And people don't understand that two individuals that never met the entire life become as a family or best friends, and it's nothing beyond that, you know. I mean, I talk to my family about him, about you, the relationship that we have and everything, and people is like, you have better relationship with them than your own flesh and blood. Well, my sister is a bitch, and my brother, he don't care, and my baby brother is my best friend. You know, uh, and I always say that. Sometimes take a good person, male or woman, they can be there for you. And not about money, because it's not about money. It's the trust and the trust that you put on that person. It hurts sometimes when you trust somebody and they stab you in your back. You know, this is the same thing on a scamming. You put all your trust on this person that you think that you never met, that you never video, that you never talked. Everything is about texting. You put all the trust on this person. You give your life to this scammer. And at the end, when they cannot take any of the dollars from you, they block you, ghost you, and they move on. And don't
Yep.
think that you're an exclusive because they are talking with three or four people at the same time they're talking to you. So if you see this face in your DM and it starts telling you that you're the best thing on earth, and in 3 minutes they feel like they know each other for years, it's a scammer, people. It's a scammer,
Yes.
Yes.
okay?
And you can follow Gypsy on TikTok. His TikTok is Gypsy050214. We all follow him. So you got to follow him, but don't send him DMs telling you that you love him. I mean, unless you actually really know him, you know.
And even if you know him, don't be a dummy. Just give it time. Give
Yeah,
it time to build a friendship first. Because you cannot be in a relationship with somebody that you don't found as a friend first. You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah. We also give marriage advice, and no, we do it all of that. We do it
Oh,
all.
that's
Yeah.
Well, Gypsy, thank you so much for taking time out of your Saturday to come and talk to us. I really, really appreciate it. Any
And
closing words from anybody?
You're welcome. Look, I I tell people this on all social media, on all social media. My name is the same, Gypsy050214. I don't have an underscore, I don't have a one behind it, a backup, all that other stuff. If they're talking to you and it's got any of that extra stuff, it's not me. Um, Recently I've had to turn the download off on TikTok because people were downloading my videos and making new TikToks. So when you see the new accounts of me, you can actually zoom in and you can see that they've recorded it and it's not me. So they need to pay attention when they're talking to these Gypsy accounts or I had a new one of Barry Bull, and I'm just like, this man is just
don't
he's
get me started with Barry.
Yeah.
he he's trying to put out the same awareness that we're all trying to put out, but at the same time, you can only be so egotistic.
This is his real account, people. Let me
Yeah.
see if
Yes,
I can get it.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
That's the
Follow
only
Gypsy on
account.
TikTok. Yeah. And follow IB Princess 56. Follow me, Pink Lady Against Scammers.com. No, that's my web address. Follow me, Pink Lady Against Scammers, and you will see my real picture with my real pink hair. I just touched it up last night, finally. So, again, Gypsy, thank you so much. And my
Thank you, brother.
bestie on here, Yvette, thank you.
Anytime.
And be sure to check out all my stuff, pinkladyaGainstScammers.com, on TikTok. YouTube is Patsy3919. I stream on there as well. And we'll see you next time. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. See you later.
Stay safe.
You too.